Hello everybody, my name is Maya Joy, and today I would like to speak about resistance as it relates to the creative process and experiencing resistance if you are an artist or a creative soul. And I just want to send a special shout out to one of my subscribers named Tony, who has consistently encouraged me to make this video. Thank you. A lot of times I feel inadequate to discuss creation, okay? Because I know that those of you who are walking around in this world, who are healers, who are artists, who are creative types, I know your journey is incredibly sacred, and sometimes I feel that it's so sacred that we cannot even really speak about it. Those of you who are creative souls, who are artists, many of you may not actually realize this, but many of you are also healers. And there is a healing energy, there is a divine energy that is running through your being. Where does creative energy come from? It comes from God, it comes from source, it comes from a higher place. And I think every bit of beauty that has been brought to this world has come from that higher place. It starts out oftentimes with a vision or an impulse that I think comes from the soul that says, I would like to create this. I think sometimes we are here on a mission to create something in this world and to bring beauty and harmony into this world. And what can happen is we initially get a creative spark for something really beautiful. We get like a vision, and then we start to pursue the process of bringing that vision into reality somewhere in the process, right? And I think if you're acting or you're making a painting or whatever you're doing, like a lot of us will face this, where suddenly we feel like resistance or inadequacy. And we think at that point that we should stop, because it's like reality in that moment doesn't seem to be reflecting that amount of beauty that was initially involved in our vision. Many souls at that point then can take that resistance that we feel and think that it's a sign that we need to stop or that we need to give up. The resistance is actually magic. What does it mean to really be like an artist? It's one thing to create, like it's one thing to do a Pinterest craft or something like that, and like no shade on that, like those are like amazing in a lot of cases. But it's another thing to be an artist. And when you are an artist, and what is art? Like it is a process of transmutation. It is a process of bringing something divine into the material. And I think that what we're experiencing, like when we feel that resistance, is we're experiencing the transmutation process. It's the resistance itself that allows us to achieve something higher and something more, because it's the resistance to that which exists now that pushes us and compels us to rise beyond the ordinary and beyond the everyday. And it is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you're getting in touch with that particular thing which you are then going to up level. So I think when we get to that point of resistance, we must understand that we are right on the verge of a breakthrough. And if you are an artist, your body is a conduit for divine or healing energies, even if you do not realize it. And so when you start to feel that anxiety or that resistance or that desire to give up, like come up in your body, realize that is what you are transmuting, and you've got to let it move through you. The anxiety, the resistance, is actually what becomes the creation itself. It's a process of birthing that energy through you. How much amazing art, for example, if not all of it, like how much of it was not created from pain itself? Somebody experiences an energy which is so uncomfortable within their being that they absolutely cannot contain it within their being anymore. And therefore, they must make it into something. So they make it into a song, or they make it into a stage performance, or they make it into whatever, they make it into digital art. Let me speak about my work as a psychic, okay? I still am somewhat resistant to seeing it as art, as I said. Before I do a reading, almost always before I do a reading, and my readings are very, very creative in general. It's an atypical type of reading where I sort of enter into an altered state or a trance state, and then I allow visions of the divine to flow through me, and I do my best to communicate those visions with a sense of artistry to the client, okay? But anyway, every time right before I am about to go into that state, I will feel, especially like it's gone down over time, but when I first started, I would feel almost like a brick wall around me. Like it just felt like this is so sacred and this is so beautiful. What I'm feeling wants to be birthed through me, that I absolutely am inadequate and cannot do it. How can I possibly serve as a messenger for the angels or guides or this divine energy? This is preposterous. I cannot do it. I don't even know how to describe the energy. I use the term enraged because it just feels like insurmountable a lot of times to be able to contain that energy. All I can say is that somehow, some part of my being knew to at least attempt the creation. And it was hard. And for not just like a couple readings, like I'm at like 5,000 readings now, but for the first like 4,500 readings, my being wanted to give up every single time and did not want to create any of them. Like my readings are actually these audio recordings. People listen to them and they're MP3 recordings. And like, there was a part of me that did not want to create any of them. There are 4,500 people who would not have received the message or energy from their guides or angels if I would have let that resistance stop me from creating their readings. And I think it's really important that we don't let our feelings of inadequacy as humans prevent us from at least attempting to be conduits of the divine energy that is trying to come through us. To be a creative soul is to be a conduit of that divine energy and to bring it some way into this material dimension. Bring it into existence through you. Don't give up. If anything, just open up more and invite in more of the divine energy and trust more and be the conduit more and proceed, because it's just when you feel that resistance that your actual being is transmuting that energy into something higher. And I've observed very, very much that most actors are healers and most artists are healers, and that we feel deeply and we experience great pain because that allows us to know something of what lies beyond here. And it serves as this motivation to go deeper, to reach higher, to transcend. And in that process of trying somehow to make sense of, to transcend our own pain, our own suffering, we then get in touch with that thing that eventually becomes the art itself. And so just know that if you're experiencing resistance in your creative process, that nothing is wrong. As a matter of fact, something is very, very right. That's my message today. That's what I'm going to say for now. If you guys want me to say more, or you want more topics related to this or things like that, post them in the comments below. If you are one of these lovely, lovely creative artist souls, thank you, thank God, thank you for being here. Our world needs more and more and more of this. And don't let your resistance, don't let your anxiety, don't let your feelings of inadequacy stop you from being the conduit of that energy. Because if the impulse is there, if the vision is there, you have the capacity to be able to do it, and you were chosen for that purpose. Okay? Many blessings to all of you, and namaste.